Hammerdude 2088, and we're back for another Summoner's War video, and we're going to talk about the Water Rift Beast. And let's get into some of his mechanics before we get into a battle. Ice Sweep attacks all enemies 2 times using its gigantic body to pull them under the freezing effect. It's the main skill that's used by this monster. And then Freezing Roar grants freezing air effect on all enemies with an ice roar. The freezing air effect becomes stronger every time the freezing roar is used. In air, 75% of the max HP will be frozen and all abilities will be lost. The frozen HP will be substantially recovered proportionate to the increased amount of attack bar. The damage you will receive is proportionate to the frozen HP under the freezing air effect. As the freezing air effect becomes stronger, the frozen HP will slow down. With the freezing air, pretty much how it says it's it increases proportionate to the attack bar. So I kind of never read this when I had started doing it. I just threw a bunch of monsters in. I just noticed every time Bernard uses third skill, the frozen HP goes up slightly. When Bella uses third skill to heal, the frozen HP went up slightly. And then I had my Mesity in there, and he targets one monster and fills their attack bar. So I saw the whole bar just move. And then that's when I kind of realized that when you bring in monsters that have attack bar increasing abilities, helps you with this boss. So I'm like, if you can't just pretty much wipe the boss with damage, you're gonna need something that increases the attack bars to help you along the fight. Then Thorn of Despair. Now this is the one that hits really hard. Attacks the enemy in the front line 2 times with a sharp thorn. The damage increases substantially as the target's defense decreases. This attack will target the back line if there is no enemies left in the front line. This is usually how I end up dying for the most part, because this, like, after he goes into groggy state, once he comes out and he gets to this ability again, it hits hard. I mean, it's like getting hit by a truck. So you really need like a lot of defense and HP in that front line, like a really tanky monsters. Then Frozen Rageful Breath removes all beneficial effects on all enemies and attacks them 6 times with Ice Breath. Now this is like his last move that he does before it resets and start over again. And this one really hits hard. It pretty much, if you allow him to get this far along, he's pretty much going to wipe your team. And then the last ability is the one that every beast have, the Twisted Body passive. Weakens the effect that inflicts damage proportionate to the HP with a twisted power and gains immunity against all harmful effects. The immunity against all harmful effects will be removed during the groggy state. So pretty much once you get them in groggy state, that's when you're going to see your real damage. That's when you're going to be able to put all your debuffs on them. So until you can get them into groggy state, that's when you deplete its HP bar. And I believe I think you go to groggy state twice, and then that third HP bar is when you win. I can only get them to groggy state 1 time so far, but that's the abilities this the Ice Beast has. So let's just get into a battle. And this is my current team. I mean, just pretty much trying to deal as much damage, and then, like I said before, I have a Mesity with his third skill that allows him to fill up attack bar for one monster, which kind of helps with this. I try to go straight damage, but they died a lot faster, and this is so far the best team I have for it. So pretty much you want like tanky monsters in the front line. And I'm running 3 monsters in front line, but it's not necessary to have 3. 2 monsters can do fine in the front line, and damage dealers in the back line. Just nothing but raw damage. because that's all you really need, because it's not about you actually beating them, it's just about you getting as much damage on them as you can possible. And if you're like early mid game to the to the middle of mid game, then you're probably gonna have some problems. And then you earlier game players, you might get this far in damage and then you're done. But for those late mid game to late to end game players, should be not as bad for you. Well, definitely if you're like late end game and all of that. But around that mid game level, it's like a hit or miss. All depends on the runes and the monsters that you have, really. If you have some decent runes on your monsters, I mean, having the monsters that you need to take on each boss is not the easiest part when you're still trying to get through your dragons and your necro and all of that. So for the people that's that far along, you guys generally have runes spread out pretty far, like some good runes spread out pretty far. So you might have a few more monsters runed up decently. But all it is once you're under that freezing effect is to get the bar filled up as quickly as possible, because he started hitting really hard after that second groggy state, and it gets harder to survive. And then being frozen doesn't help either. Like at this point, we get wiped. That's pretty much it. I mean, on average, this is what I'm able to do, and I'm able to get some good materials. I believe you have to get like at least a B to get the condensed magic crystal. Other than that, you will probably just get a frozen water crystal. Sometimes I get multiple, sometimes I don't. But you need at least to be that, and then. But for the new rooms, you need the pure magic crystals, and these I believe you have to get at least an A or above, or maybe even an S. I think an A at the least. So if you're not getting an A, you don't look forward to actually making these rooms, all the new ones, because I haven't got one yet. I haven't seen one come up yet, but I notice when I look at higher level players when they do it and they get those S ranks, this generally show up. I believe it starts at an A, but I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that. But this video's gone on long enough. Just wanted to show and explain a little bit of how the water rift goes, because that's like the best one I can do so far. And this is the Gamer Dude sign. Now, see you in another video. Deuces.